Hello, happy Friday, everyone. Happy Friday. How's your week been? I hope you guys have been having a wonderful week. And in preparation for the weekend, I want to share 3 essentials for a self-love journey. So these are 3 essentials. These are not the only things, but if I was going to rank the top 3, these at this moment, based on my understanding of healing and my own experience on my own healing journey, are the most important essentials to make sure you have. Hello, for whoever just joined, welcome. So essential number 1, I'm just gonna get right into it, is sleep. Hello. Sleep is absolutely essential to our healing journey, okay? So now, if we do not have enough sleep, we are in a emotional deficit when we go through our day. Hi, Jerry. Oh, Jerry, how are you doing? I miss you. So feel free to chime in. You were a teacher. How did that work for you when your students showed up in your classroom sleepy and tired? Were they a little more grumpy, and was it more difficult to get them, to stay focused on their work and, just have a good day? So sleep is just very important. It's important for our focus in being able to just function throughout the day. Our sleep helps us to also just stay more balanced. Absolutely. Yes, Jerry is a veteran teacher, so she knows the benefits of sleep and having a happy environment. It also affects our choices when we're eating. So the types of foods that we are attracted to when we're eating tend to be a little bit more unhealthy. Studies have shown they tend to be a little greasy or salty. Maybe those are ways our body is trying to crave things that it needs and not getting. But definitely sleep impacts our nutrition choices, it impacts our focus, it impacts our moods. So when someone rubs us the wrong way, if we are well rested, we might be okay, let me just take a breath and just wipe this off of my shoulders and just keep it moving. But when we are tired, we're already kind of a little cranky. And so we may get a little snappier than we need to. So it helps us stabilize our moods. That's even with ourselves too, in our own self-talk. When we're tired, we might be what's wrong with myself? Why am I making this decision? We might be even harder on ourselves, which is definitely not helpful to a self-love journey if you are being hard on yourself and being oh, I should have gotten more rest, and starting to judge yourself, right? So definitely sleep, it's just healing for our body in general, and preventing even disease from manifesting, because it helps boost our immunity. And so when we are healthy, physically, it's also a lot easier for us to stay in a good mindset and just a healthy way emotionally as well as physically. So sleep is my number 1 essential for a self-love journey. My number 2 essential kind of ties in with sleep a little bit, is patience. We have to be patient with ourselves, okay? It's a journey, and anytime that you are doing something, especially if you are healing from a heartbreak or a traumatic event, it is easy to judge ourselves and to be hard on ourselves and think that oh, I just, I attended this conference at church, so now I should be better. And why am I not remembering what I learned at this conference? And then just expecting ourselves to learn something new and acquire a new skill or a new tool for managing our lives. But yet, we're human, and things go forward, and sometimes something triggers us. An event may happen, something may happen in our day that triggers us. And, that intention of doing and using that new tool to stay calm just goes out the window. And then we have negative self feelings. And we put ourselves down, and it's I know better. Why didn't I do better? Well, you're human. We all know better and don't always do better at times. And so you really have to be patient with yourself and just, give yourself grace when you mess up. it's gonna, be that way. Your child, gets on your nerves and you snap at your son or your daughter or your partner. And then you're like, why did I do that? And then you start condemning yourself. Well, it happens. Like, learn from it and then move on. So we have to give ourselves patience. We have to give ourselves grace when we are healing, because especially when we are healing and there's something traumatic that's happened to us or a heartbreak, our emotions inside are kind of in turmoil, and it takes time to like get that peace back and to really heal. I think sometimes people think, oh, I had someone pray for me, or I did this, especially as Christians or whatever, and so now I should be fine. Like, I went to that altar call. Why am I not fine? And you just like lose patience with yourself, and you lose focus on the fact that it is a process. It is a journey. And so there's going to be moments where you are doing really well and having great days. And then there's going to be other moments where like you got out of bed. Congratulations. Like, be proud of yourself that you got out of bed today. And that was like your best, and that's okay. It's absolutely okay to sometimes not be okay, and it's absolutely okay to sometimes just not have okay days. So just be patient with yourself. And the third essential for a self-love journey is, in my opinion, a plan. Okay? If you are looking for transformation in your life, if you are really looking for healing, you have to have a plan. It does not just magically happen. Healing is not magical. Sometimes it takes like years of deep therapy. Sometimes it takes like more like coaching and research. It depends on, what it is that you are, healing from, or what it is that you're working through. But it takes a plan. It just does not happen. So how are you going to do this? Maybe, your finances are in a big mess because, say you were married, now you're divorced, your income is a little bit off than how it used to be. How are you going to get back on track? How are you going to do that? You're going to need multiple plans, actually. You might need like financial plans. You might need childcare plans. You might need plans for like, when are you going to take time to show yourself some self-care? Like, when are you going to make time even in the day to just take a time out? Like, when are you going to pray? When are you going to meditate? When are you going to spend time just like taking a walk? When is this going to happen? And if you do not actually plan when you're going to do these things for yourself, when you're going to take your self-care, when you're going to take those breaks, how is this going to look? If there's no plan, it will not happen. You'll be continually going through the cycles. Also, say that you are in a cycle of like, you're in a relationship and it's not the best relationship for you. How are you going to get out of that relationship so that person who always somehow knows how to like reel you back in, like they say something, it triggers you to like feel sad for them or sorry for them, and you're like, oh, I feel so bad. Let me give this person another chance. Like, how are you, but at the same time, in the back of your brain, you might know that this person is really not any good for you. But how are you going to break that cycle of like continually getting sucked back in to that trap? And it could be a friendship. It does not have to be a romantic relationship. Not all friendships are healthy even. So like, how are you going to like set boundaries for yourself? How are you going to do this? How are you going to not let your work? And I know this is like one thing I'm guilty of, because I always have like a million things in my brain that I want to accomplish. But how am I going to do these things, but also make time for myself and to just like do things that I love and do things that are healthy for me, and benefit me? And if I do not have a plan for how this is going to look, it's all going to continue the same way. So making a plan for how to set those boundaries, making a plan for like how to allocate your time, budgeting your time, it's so important. So just to quick summarize, because I see like a couple people sometimes jump in and then new ones jump out. Just a quick summary, the 3 essentials for your self-love journey that I would recommend that you make sure you have are 1, sleep, 2, patience with yourself, and 3, a plan. And if you're like, Beth, that sounds great. I have no idea. I don't know how to plan to get enough sleep. I don't know how to give myself that grace. I don't know how to plan to break free of like cycles in relationships that are not healthy for me, that are not benefiting me. I don't know how to plan time for myself. Like, I don't know how to even plan, like a lot of times, like our thought patterns, they're like habits. It takes work to break those feelings of like not feeling worthy enough, not feeling confident enough, particularly if, you have a past history of, traumatic, abusive relationships. And especially if they're like have been an emotionally abusive relationship. Those thought patterns have become like ingrained in you to like feel bad about yourself or feel like you owe people something or not understanding your own worth. So if it actually takes a plan, how am I going to break these thought patterns? So if you need help with, transforming your thought life, transforming, your heart because like you don't know how to get out of anger, and you're just like angry and you have like all this unforgiveness, or even just like feeling, like I don't feel good physically enough, right? I'm happy to chat with you, set up a time to chat with you about how you can make a plan, see if my services and my expertise and my knowledge can support you and promote you, if I can be of assistance. So I'm going to drop the link in the comments underneath this video for how you could book a free consultation, and we can chat to see and help you at least come up with a plan or like an outline of things where you want to go. So I'm going to share that link in the bottom, but I wish you guys all a wonderful weekend. Jerry, if you're still there, I don't know if you're still there. It was so good to see you, or at least your name. I hope you're doing well. And so anyway, yes, have a great afternoon, a great weekend, everyone. Peace. Oh, you were watching still. Oh, good. Have a good weekend, Jerry.